This is TWiT.
I know from the outside, this is kind of like a cynical thing, and people are like, oh, of course they killed it, Google, they're terrible. And honestly, Stadia was killed by internal wounds. There's no doubt about it. The thing that they got right, the thing that they did very right for a cloud streaming service is they configured they have a controller, right? You can use any controller you want on any device, but if you use the Stadia controller, that thing has a direct connection to the cloud. So you have a screen that is connected to the cloud to whatever game you're playing that's displaying the game, obviously. And then you have a controller that's not connected to the screen. It's connected to the cloud directly. And the idea there is there's a bunch of reasons for that. One of the reasons would be your switch screens, right? So maybe you're sitting in front of a big TV or whatever. It's time to go to work. You get on the bus, and now you've switched screens. So you're on your phone, but you can use the same controller. That's kind of cool. The real issue with cloud-based gaming is latency. And this really, really helps with latency. And so when Amazon came out with their Luna game service, which, by the way, I think was also 2 years ago, they did the same scheme for their controller, same exact deal. They had some numbers to it. I think they said that it's really, if it's off the top of my head, but I believe they said that it really reduced latency by up to 40% over a Bluetooth connection directly with the device that you're playing on. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. In fact, I know it's a big deal because I've used Xbox Cloud Gaming, which is Microsoft's game streaming service, and latency is a huge issue. So depending on the game you're playing, that might not be a big deal. But once you get into like first-person shooters, it's a serious problem. Once you get into multiplayer first-person shooters, it's an impossibility. Like it's just, at that point, it basically means the game is just unplayable.
It's a huge disadvantage.
Yes. So I'm calling on Microsoft to basically copy this technology, right? Come up with a new version of their controller, which I recommend, they could call it the Xbox Cloud Gaming wireless controller.
Cloud controller. Yeah.
And have it connect directly, right? It could be the third generation controller, if you will, for the Xbox Series X and S or whatever.
This is somehow owned by Google, but Amazon does it too.
No, because Amazon did the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just it's an implementation thing. It's the way they implement it.
Yeah, instead of Bluetooth, it's Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And connect directly to the cloud. This will put Xbox Cloud Gaming over the top. And by the way, with this Activision Blizzard thing I just mentioned, Call of Duty and other games coming to Microsoft, coming to Xbox Game Pass, coming presumably to Xbox Cloud Gaming, this is what's going to be necessary for those games to even make sense. Hopefully that's what happens. But that's my hope and my dream is that this is what's going to happen.